After my wife won 50 million in the lottery, the first thing she did was ask for a divorce. I agreed without a fuss. She and her new guy both laughed at me, calling me an idiot. They rushed to get married and dumped our daughter on me. But when the day came to claim the prize, that pair totally fell apart. Chen Feng, let's get a divorce. At the dinner table, Lin Fei slid a printed divorce agreement in front of me. I was taken aback for a second, looking at her perfectly made-up face. I couldn't quite process it at first. Why my voice came out a little rough. She let out a sharp laugh, her voice rising with a kind of contempt I'd never seen from her before. Look at yourself. How much money do you even make in a month? All I get from being with you is misery. He gestured around our tiny place less than 60 square meters and then pointed at the food on the table. 10 years Chen Feng. I'm done with this kind of life. Married for 10 years. I thought I gave everything to her. To this family. Sure, my salary wasn't great, but I handed every single cent over to her each month. Try and give her a slightly better life. I started doing rideshare driving after work, dragging myself home late every single night exhausted, but she never saw any of that. Lin Fei, is there some kind of misunderstanding? No misunderstanding. She cut me off impatiently. She pulled a lottery ticket from her bag and slapped it. On the table I won the top prize, 50 million Chen Feng. I don't want to waste any more time with a broke loser like you. Those bright red numbers on the ticket, I knew them well. It was my daughter Yi's birthday a week ago. I passed the lottery shop downstairs. On a whim I bought a ticket using Yi's birthday. Came home and casually handed it to Lin Fei to put away. Just said it was for fun, a random ticket. Never thought it would actually win. My heart sank, not because of the money but because of the look on her face, so desperate to get rid of me. So this 50 million has nothing to do with you anymore. She lifted her chin, her eyes full of bloating and pride. This crappy apartment is yours and so is your daughter. I'll even give you 200,000 as compensation for all these years. Her tone was like she was tossing a coin to a beggar. I looked at this woman I'd loved for 10 years, watching money reveal her true and ugliest self. Just then the doorbell rang. Lin Fei's eyes lit up and she immediately went to open the door. Standing there was a guy decked out in designer brands, hair slicked back with gel. Zhang Hao, Lin Fei's boss. Zhang Hao walked in and naturally wrapped his arm around Lin Fei's waist, looking at me with a challenge in his eyes. Chen Feng, I assume Lin Fei has filled you in. What you couldn't give Fei Fei I can. Lin Fei snuggled into Zhang Hao's arms, cooing how he still hasn't signed it yet. Zhang Hao's eyes landed on me with a hint of pity. Come on buddy, be a sport. Don't waste everyone's time. Sign the papers and this 200 grand is yours. Take the money and your life will be easier. Watching them play their little duet, I suddenly found it all ridiculous. So I've been the fool kept in the dark all along. Fine, I picked up the pen and calmly said one word. My quick agreement caught both Lin Fei and Zhang Hao off guard. They probably expected me to cry or put up a. Lin Fei frowned, looking at me. You're just agreeing like that? Why not? I gave a slight smile. One, they couldn't understand I signed my name on the divorce papers. Lin Fei watched me sign and the unrestrained joy finally spread across her face. She reached into Zhang Hao's bag, pulled out a bank card they'd prepared earlier and tossed it in front of me. The card has 200,000 on it. The password is your birthday. Chen Feng, we're square now with that. She linked her arm through Zhang Hao's and headed for the door without looking back. Didn't even glance toward our daughter's bedroom. At the door Zhang Hao turned his head and said loser. The door slammed shut. The whole world went quiet. I sat there staring at the sign agreement on the table and that bank card. They thought they were the winners. Thought I was just some pitiful loser they'd cast aside. What they didn't know was that lottery ticket was paid for using a bank card linked to my ID. According to the latest lottery commission rules, for prizes over 1 million, the person who bought the ticket must claim it in person with valid ID and proof of purchase. That 50 million, Lin Fei couldn't touch a single cent of it. I reincarnated into a zombie apocalypse. I didn't run to any shelter. Instead I headed into an abandoned city and opened an apocalypse convenience store. All because I got a golden trading system. With gold I can do absolutely anything. The street was dead silent on that stormy night. Beneath the LED sign of that apocalypse store on the corner, dozens of zombies roared and crowded outside the tempered glass door. But inside it was a steady 24 degrees. Shelves were fully stocked and perfectly organized. I stood behind the counter wiping it down. Seriously, I just cleaned the windows yesterday. Do you guys have any sense of hygiene at all? I let out a sigh. I pulled a blue spray bottle from under the counter. He pressed the nozzle toward the zombies outside. The next second, the wild aggressive horde froze like someone hit pause. Then they acted like they saw their worst nightmare. They scrambled and fled in every direction, clearing 10 meters in front of the store in an instant. System notification exercise and cleaner trial use. Successfully one use, 99 remaining in stock. I didn't even glance at it. I turned back and fixed the gum on the shelf. Every pack had to face straight forward, not even the slightest angle off. Boss, please help me. A weak, trembling voice suddenly came from the door. I tilted my head slightly. A muddy man crawled into the store. He wore a torn suit and his left arm was gone. His face was pale as paper as he crawled to the counter. His eyes locked onto the hot food display next to me. 3 rotating hot sausages were inside. He reached out with his right hand to grab my pants. I stepped back and avoided his dirty hand perfectly. I pointed at a sign by the door. No credit here, plus you'll pay extra for dirtying the floor. The man froze. He never expected. In this dog-eat-dog apocalypse, someone would charge him a cleaning fee. The man was shaking badly. He pulled a soaking wet wallet from his chest. He grabbed a handful of red bills and slammed them down. I took one look, then flicked 100 bill away and said, sorry sir, we don't take trash here, you know. The current exchange rate. I pointed at an electronic screen above the counter. A line of blood red text rolled across it. Today's rate, 1 gram gold equals 1 point. The man's eyes widened in shock. Gold was worthless after the apocalypse began. He desperately felt all over his body. Suddenly he ripped a gold necklace off his neck. He slammed the necklace on the counter. He picked up the chain and placed it skillfully on a precision scale. The scale flashed red. 24K pure gold, 52 grams. 10% service fee deducted. Total 468 points. My fingers tapped quickly on the register. Plus 5 points for floor cleaning. Your balance is 418 points. I need water. I need medicine. His life was fading fast. I turned and grabbed a bottle of water from the shelf, then took a locked box from under the counter and pulled out a red capsule. A adrenaline emergency capsule made by the system. It blocks pain and stops bleeding for 30 minutes. Price 35 points. I suggest you use 18 more for a sausage to regain strength. I set all 3 items on the counter and aimed a red scanner at the necklace. A red light scanned over it. The heavy gold necklace turned into golden light and vanished into the register. He ignored the shock and stuffed the capsule in his mouth. He twisted open the bottle and chucked it down. Almost instantly his pale face flushed with an eerie red. The bleeding from his missing arm stopped. He gasped hard and his look changed from despair to awe. He said, "Who are you? Are you a god?" I picked up my cloth again and kept wiping the spot he dirt. "I'm just a cashier. Call me Su Ming." I pointed outside and said, "Break time is over. You have to leave. Next customer is coming." Less than 50 meters out of the store, the one-armed man was jumped by people in the dark. Before he could fight back, he was knocked out with a stick. The leader was a bald man with a vicious scar across his. They called him Blade. He was a local gang leader. After the apocalypse, he gathered a group of ruthless thugs. Blade stared greedily at the store. He gripped his knife tightly. Then he led his men inside. They swaggered into my convenience store welcome. I didn't even look up, still wiping the counter with my cloth. "Wipe your feet first. The mat is by the door." Blade kicked the shelf hard. Chip bags crashed onto the floor. He stepped on one and crushed it. He slammed his knife on the counter and threatened me. I finally stopped what I was doing. I slowly looked up and stared calmly at Blade, like I was looking at a talking corpse. Damaged goods original chips 15 points. Counter scratch repair 50 points. Verbal abuse emotional damage 100 points. My voice was steady and calm, even with professional politeness. Total 165 points. The room went quiet, then burst into laughter. Blade lunged forward and grabbed my collar. He breathed stinking breath in my face and threatened again. I sighed softly. My eyes drifted to an empty spot in the air. Violent behavior detected inside the store. Level 1 violation. Initiating physical expulsion. A cold mechanical voice blasted inside everyone's head. Then the ceiling light in the store flipped over, revealing a tiny turbine engine. A horrible invisible gravity crashed down at once. Blade felt like a mountain was crushing his shoulders. No way to resist at all. He dropped to his knees with a heavy thud. His kneecap shattered with a crisp crack. A terrible scream cut through the night. I was not fined $128,000 by my company for doing a good deed, but not only did I not hand over a single cent, I actually got the company to pay me $50 million in compensation. At the regular meeting, the new intern suddenly put my attendance record up on the projector. The boss and the entire company instantly focused their attention on me. The intern lifted his chin triumphantly. He slapped a stack of photos on the conference table and said, "Boss, I'm reporting him for using the company car to pick up and drop off his kids every day using a company vehicle for personal reasons. I suggest immediate termination." The boss's face instantly darkened like the bottom of a pot. I looked with pity at this intern eager to climb the ladder. His so-called company car was my luxury vehicle worth $6 million to facilitate business negotiations. I lent it to the company for free to maintain appearances. He clicked to the next slide, which showed a table and said, "I did a quick calculation. Director Lin travels about 40 kilometers round trip daily. Fuel consumption plus wear and tear. That's several thousand in hidden costs every month. Mr. Liang, the company is now pushing for cost reduction and efficiency. I think we should start from the top. This kind of behavior, treating company assets as personal property, if not dealt with severely, how can we earn the respect of the team?" Everyone's gaze turned to Liang Shui, my university classmate and the founder of this company. Back in the early days of starting up, when she couldn't pay salaries, I used my own savings to help cover for her. Later, when the company needed to impress big clients, I didn't hesitate and brought over the family car I had just gotten less than a month earlier. I said, "Take it for now. Business comes first." And that went on for 2 years. I paid for the gas myself. I paid the insurance. I covered the maintenance. Sometimes when the driver was too busy, I'd even drive myself to the airport to pick up clients. Everyone in the company knew this car was mine, but at this moment Liang Shui's face showed no intention of defending me. Her brow was furrowed, her fingers tapping unconsciously on the table. That was her habit when weighing pros and cons. Then Liang Shui spoke as what Chen Hao reported accurate. Looking at her, my heart felt like it skipped a beat. 2 years ago, when she begged me to lend a car for the company's image, she said, "Lin Feng, I know this is a lot to ask. Once the company makes money, I'll buy you a new one." Now she's asking me if it's accurate. Turns out kindness in the face of profit really amounts to absolutely nothing. I shot back, "What do you think, Mr. Liang Shua?" Avoided my gaze and said, "The photos are right here, Lin Feng. Although you're a long-time employee and my old classmate, rules are rules. Keeping public and private matters separate is the principle. So here's what we'll do. Hand over the car keys. From now on, this vehicle will be managed centrally by the admin department. Also, regarding the fuel and depreciation costs, Chen Hao calculated they will be deducted from your salary next month." "Well said, Mr. Liang, and I also think Director Lin should make a self-criticism at the next all-hands meeting. The impact of this is just too negative. Forget the self-criticism. Send out a company-wide reprimand instead." "A company-wide reprimand, wage deduction, confiscated car keys." I looked at Liang Shui's familiar face and suddenly felt she was a stranger. It was my car, but I didn't argue. I didn't whip out the registration and slap it on her face, because I saw the ambition in Chen Hao's eyes, and I saw the calculation in Liang Shui's eyes. But that's okay. A plan for payback was already forming in my mind. "Fine, here are the keys and I accept the reproach. Mr. Liang, I hope this this car brings the company more good fortune. See Director Lin, that's better isn't it? Had to be reported before you'd give it up. I looked at him with pity. He had no idea what these keys really meant. He thought he had grabbed power, but what he actually grabbed was a ticking bomb. A bomb powerful enough to blow this company to pieces. The email with the reprimand was sent to everyone in the company. Half an hour later I took a sip of my coffee, the bitter taste spreading on my tongue, but it couldn't suppress the chill surging in my heart. The door opened, no knock. Director Lin Finance has the calculation you need to pay back. A total of 128,000 Mr. Leon has signed off on it. You have 3 days to settle it. If not, it will be deducted from your year-end bonus and equity dividends. After the locusts by our doorstep ripened, a jealous neighbor secretly sprayed pesticide on the locust tree. In my past life I saw the neighbor spraying pesticide on the locusts. With good intentions I warned the villagers stealing locusts not to pick them, but the villagers called me stingy and chopped the tree down in a frenzy to grab the fruit. Later, when some villagers were poisoned, they came to my house to cause trouble. In the chaos, grandma was pushed off the hillside and fell to her death. My parents, overcome with grief, drank pesticide and took their own lives. When I opened my eyes again, I had returned to the day the neighbor sprayed pesticide on our locat tree. Herbaceous smell of pesticide jolted me awake from my afternoon nap. Opening my eyes, I saw a sneaky figure outside the window, carrying a pesticide sprayer on their back, spraying poison onto our loquat tree. Suddenly my mind went blank with a jolt, when I realized I had been reborn. Looking at that face outside, which usually seemed honest and simple, now twisted with resentment and malice, my hands broke out in a cold sweat. By our door stood several locust trees taller than the house itself, planted by my late grandfather because Grandma especially loved locusts. Grandpa had carefully tended them, and these trees bore a generous crop each year. But every year when locust season arrived, many villagers would come to steal our locusts. Grandma was good-natured. Whenever she saw someone taking locusts, she would smile and tell them to bring a ladder from our place to pick them, worried they might fall climbing the tree. Because of this, the whole village praised Grandma for her kindness and generosity. But unexpectedly, Grandma's good reputation stirred jealousy in our neighbor Gutsei Hyang. In my past life, it was this very afternoon. Gutsei Hyang took advantage when Mom, Dad and Grandma were working in the fields, thinking no one was home. I secretly sprayed a whole tank of pesticide on the locust tree. She just didn't expect that I had come home from school, sick to rest, and witnessed her spraying the poison. Finding the locust tree doused with pesticide and worried someone might eat them. Unknowingly, I dragged my feverish body out of bed and found a piece of cardboard, wrote a warning sign on it, and hung it on our locust tree. But who would have guessed? The neighbors coming to steal locusts saw the sign and thought we had just put it up to scare them off. Locusts were right. Who would spray pesticide now just to stop others from stealing, when your own family couldn't eat them all either? Who would be that foolish? In my past life, Mom, Dad and my grandma weren't home. Hearing the villagers would eat the pesticide-laced locusts, I rushed out to beg them not to pick any. But the more I pleaded, the more determined they were to pick. Just then neighbor Gusu Ai Siang stormed out, raised her hand and slapped me twice across the face, saying, "When did I ever spray pesticide on your family's locust tree? Who told you to spout such lies? I'll tear your mouth apart." Gusu Ai Siang had never gotten along with my grandma. She was jealous that my grandpa was so good to Grandma while her own husband often beat her. She was jealous Grandma had a son while she only had daughters. Hearing the villagers praise my grandma's kindness, Gusuo 11 Yang would often rant next door, calling my grandma a phony trying to look good. In my past life, I was weak from a bad cold, and after Gusuo 11 Yang shoved and hit me, I blacked out. When I came to, the loquat tree by our door had been hacked down by villagers, leaving only bare branches, the ground littered with crushed locust leaves. I was frozen with fear and immediately told Mom, Dad and Grandma just back from the fields that the neighbor Guswishying had sprayed pesticide on the locust tree. That night Mom, Dad and Grandma took flashlights and went door to door warning everyone that our locust tree had been poisoned and the fruit wasn't safe to eat. It could kill you. But incredibly, no one in the village believed us. Some villagers even hurled insults. Enduring their curses, we went through the whole village. Then our family went home dejected. Still, we thought since we had warned everyone, even if they didn't believe us, surely they would smell the pesticide on the locusts and not eat them. But the next day tragedy struck. An elderly woman from the village and her little grandson along with a husband and wife died after eating our loquats. The two families carried the bodies into our home demanding my parents pay compensation. I desperately explained the pesticide wasn't sprayed by us but by our neighbor Gusui Shion. Gusui Shion rushed over to hit me. Grandma stepped in front to shield me. In the chaos, Grandma was pushed down the hill. Her head struck a large blue rock and she died instantly. Seeing a life had been lost, the villagers scattered. Only the two grieving families kept demanding money from us. In my past life, my parents were forced to kneel and beg those families for mercy, but both insisted on 1 million each in compensation, otherwise they would claim I sprayed the pesticide and have me sent to prison. That was 2 million total. Even selling our house wouldn't cover it. Protect me, my parents left a note saying they would pay with their lives for the deaths, and both drank pesticide, ending their lives. After my parents died, Gutsu Ai Siang deceived my relatives, saying I was just a child who failed to protect my family and didn't deserve to inherit the family home. The relatives divided our house and land among themselves and kicked me out. Later, on my way to the police station to report the crime, I was hit and killed by a speeding van. Snapping back to the present, I looked at the sneaky figure outside my window. I took out my phone and quietly filmed Good Suhyang's entire pesticide spraying act. After Good Suhyang left with her sprayer, I didn't pick and discard the pesticide-covered loquats. Instead, just like in my past life, I wrote a warning sign and hung it up. That afternoon, sure enough, some villagers, assuming no one was home, came by with baskets to steal loquats, picking whole baskets full.